3, 2, East Hampton Union Free School District. We are live.
Hi, good evening. We are going to start with our budget work session today. Can I have a motion to open the meeting? Make a motion. Second? I'll second. All in favor? Okay. You do the pledge now? Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, so we are going to begin our budget workshops. Today, you'll hear from myself, hear from Tim's office and Sam. And I just want to give everybody, paint the board a picture of some of our challenges that we're currently dealing with. So as everybody knows, property tax cap this year is 2%. That would allow us a $1.9 million increase, which only begins to cover what we have to cover. This is a sharp increase in expenditures and projected sharp decline in revenues, which I will show you. Last year, again, it was 2%. Our tax levy went up 3.08, but was still tax cap compliant. Here are some of our challenges this year. Our health insurance increase, 801,000. Retirement system increase, 394,000. Property insurance increase, 91,000. Our security SROs with the village, 125,000. Special ed increases, 637,000. Athletics, 179. And a BOCES increase of 244 for a total increase of 2.4 million, which, as you saw in the previous slide, we're already over the cap and we haven't even factored in salary increases yet. But then this gets offset usually by our revenues. Here's where we expect to be this year. We have an expected decrease in tuition revenues of $1.2 million. Again, you could see enrollment and what our sending districts are sending us have decreased to the tune of 51 students less this year, coming next year.
Yeah.
State aid, as you know, because it was covered already, the governor proposed cutting our state aid by $774,000, which is out there, and that number could still change. It's being, I know our local elected officials, our state local officials are trying to address this with the governor. This was just a governor's proposal. So these are significant challenges. As you can see, there's just 2 million on this page. We're looking at another 2 million. We're over $4 million. So it's a lot to work with right now where we are. We're going to go over some of some little things in each of our budgets. This is, you know, we've said this before, a lot of our money, most of our money is in our staffing. Obviously, that's the most important thing here that we provide for our students. We are waiting to see if we have some incentives out there for our staff that I know in prior board meetings. We've seen a number of retirements. We will see where those numbers shape out. Again, I want to stress retirement, even though it's an incentive, it's a very difficult decision for people, especially people who have spent 30 years committed to the children of East Hampton. So, froze on this page, but this is our last page. But as you can see, we have a lot of challenges ahead of us, and I think we are proposing to try to stay as close as we can get to the cap, being cap compliant. Whether we get there or not, we'll see over the next bunch of meetings that we have. It's going to be a difficult process. It's really a lot of things that are really out of our control. Obviously, security is in our control, but I don't think we could put a price tag on security and protecting our students. But when you look at the other stuff, the health insurance, which again has risen this year, and the revenue coming in from the sending districts for tuition, it's significant. Again, when we did our enrollment study, we knew that there would be a projected decrease of enrollment over the next decade. It did not predict this significant. This is really double the prediction number, which again, it's a study. They did their best, with the information they had. This is a lot. We even think even next year, additional possible 20 maybe next year, decrease at least. So numbers are going down. So we'll see where we go. And it's going to be very tough. We've met, the administrators have met. We've all been given a charge of what we need to do and trying to make us cap compliant. But I think I don't want to speak for the board, but I think this year there's no reason that I would sacrifice our program to remain under the cap. I think the most important thing for us is to maintain our academic program across the board for us. There's a lot of ramifications to not doing that, which we could get into later meetings. All right, so I'm going to give you my budget for my office. This would be the Board of Education, the district clerk, and myself. Sam gave you binders, which has everything listed in it. Just so you know, it's just small. Most of this stuff is just annual stuff we have to do. There are dues, NISBA dues, board mandated training, board conferences that they have to do, just materials, law books, things like that. LTV, which is obviously we're grateful they provide coverage of our work sessions. District clerk stuff, again, very small. Total budget of 12,320, which was a decrease. District stuff, this our budget. Suffolk County Board of Elections, the annual notice, the food for volunteers, certified personnel. This is for our voting that goes on. My office, specifically the superintendent office, basically just my conferences. Most of it is hung up in my memberships with NISCUS, Suffolk County Superintendents Association. Again, just standard stuff. I think I attend 2 conferences a year. Really, everything else is local for me. That's really my total. I mean, grand totals from my office, with including the district clerk and the board, is $122,984.
There's nothing really new in there.
Not much. And again, like I said, the money and the board's done, a really good job of we've trimmed building budgets, we've trimmed department budgets over the years. The principals, the administrators have done a really good job working with their teacher leaderships and really budgeting for what they need. Most of the money is not wrapped up in those codes. It's personnel.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks, Adam.
You got it.
So I think, again, Sam gave you all the budget booklets. My budget comes in just a little bit more than last year, about 465,000. The numbers are really in the same category. We did a really nice job the last year and a half of taking a lot of the conferences and a lot of workshops that were kind of pocketed in the buildings and really putting them in one code. So there's just a little bit of a review to make sure that there wasn't duplicate services and the like. So that almost exclusively makes up the almost $19,000 increase overall. With a couple of new programs such as our automotive program, a culinary program. We've gone over this in the past, but just a reminder, I do like to leave some equipment money because you can't move money into equipment. I don't anticipate needing all of that, but it's one of those like budget kind of holy areas where you want to make sure you have it. But you can't move money into equipment, but you can always move it out. So we were very lucky with the program as is, that we didn't need as much this year, so I did cut that a little bit, but again, being mindful of the processes and the like. Another somewhat noticeable kind of area that Adam already alluded to, some of the state changes with the age. Of course, we got everything really in a good place this year with our aidable program made through BOCES, and now they may cut some of that. So you'll see some of the coordination fees of some of the programs we offered this year, and those are really aidable programs. Of course, what's happening? They may not now aid them. So,
Right.
So we did what we were advised to, and we're supposed to do. Sam and I met with our BOCES person just to discuss some of these items and the like. So Most of those in the 2010 code are really services that we provide for our staff. This year, we've been able to do a lot more with the whole group. I think we talked about this at academic committee, and a lot of those services we bring them through BOCES again. It's supposed to be able, so that kind of adds up to most of our stuff. So textbooks are a little bit negative. The summer school budget and stuff is flat. And most everything is pretty much, where we're at, it's contractual. What we do, each year we have services we have to pay the BOCES for test scanning and the like. And then our professional services and our professional growth programs, I guess there's a little push and pull here, but we want to keep, everyone moving in the right direction. That's what they're budgeted for. So.
Yeah, I mean, the number of those, and Tim alluded to it before, when you talk about New York State required testing and we send certain tests out and it's money, it's an unfunded mandate. So you could say, oh, keep it in-house. Well, yeah, keep it in-house. I have to pull teachers or pay teachers.
7,000 this year, and the BOCES fee on top of it, and we have to get those tests done and processed, and even the aid, like the assistance, not financially, with getting in, the right places for data purposes. That's what BOCES does. I got no choice. So it's really flat. I mean, a little bit of increase, roughly 19,000. And, part of that is kind of that safeguard with the equipment money, and part of that is the services from BOCES. That was supposed to be aidable, and now it's perhaps not. So,
Adam, I'm looking at this book here. Both your budgets, Adam, it looks to me like your budget is up 13.8.
Yep.
And Tim, is it right? Your budget is 13.6.
No, the whole budget of mine is roughly 4%.
Why is that?
Why is it up 4%?
No, but why does it show here?
Because you're probably looking at just the single codes. So if you look at the right,
The bottom of his thing.
yeah, my budget encompasses, probably 4 or 5 different codes. 2010, 2700, 2110. So if you add them all together, there's a little bit of sway between them, but for my office in general, about 4%. So you'll see that the first code, the equipment is down, probably 120%. And that's kind of how we set it up. Remember my first budget presentation, Adam very graciously gave me like a 400% increase. And I was like, thank you, because we just reallocated things. But, so, again, if you add the total number is up just under 4%. And most of that is the aidable money that is supposed to come back from BOCES, which we have to pay now, and then we get it back in April, which may not happen.
And John, like my budget, we're anticipating increases, membership increases and everything. We don't have numbers on that yet. So we're anticipating increases, carry stuff or, for district clerk stuff, memberships, voting stuff. We don't have numbers. So we're estimating or guesstimating how much those are going to cost us in the budget.
And with the equipment, you have.
It's a safety zone, and we're
I mean, so it's wise.
Do I anticipate us spending $25,000 in equipment? No, but to make sure, I mean, the culinary kitchen is running, and the teacher in there said I'd like this and that, and we've been able to do it this year. So far, the auto garage is doing very well. Yeah. But we're aiming at a couple of things. I believe the videos tonight from what they're doing there, but we're looking to add the New York State inspection machine. I think we have that in this budget. There's a couple of things that pop up. Right. And ideally, that's just setting us up for hopefully no breakage. Right. So. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Adam touched on the budgeting challenges that I think we have overall, and it's a difficult year when the state is cutting state aid. On top of that, we're losing so many of our semi-district students, which really have for tuition revenue for us. Now, in my budget, you can see we're up about $65,000. Most of that is attributable directly to. I want to point out 2 things that are out of our control. First is the BOCES administrative costs. That is a charge that we have to participate with. As a member of the BOCES supervisory district, we're required to pay. It's up 3.89%. That is what the rate they set. So that is a hefty increase.
And you asked about that rate, why it's going up, but what was their answer, Sam?
Well, we have expenses.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Well, so do we.
So they don't have to answer to taxpayers.
Yeah, and they're also not subject to the 2% cap.
Like a co-op board.
Yeah. Great.
The other increase that I think I want to point out, just to highlight, is our property and casualty insurance. You can see that it's on page 3 in my section. Keep in mind that that does not include the money that we also have to pay for our automobile insurance for our school buses and a couple of district vehicles that we own. So, last year we saw a very large increase in property and casualty insurance, and we're going to see it again this year.
Yeah.
We're, I think, fortunate to be part of the nicer cooperative, nicer consortium. They, do right by us. They're there when we need them, but the rates are going pretty high.
Mhm.
The rest of the stuff is mostly self-explanatory. We have made some changes in service providers that we've used over the last year. We changed to a different forms processor for our portable care compliance that saved about a third of what, say when costs went down by 2/3 rather, what we're saving. We changed our Flex program provider that saved about 50% of what we're paying. So, we're looking for efficiencies where we can. That's pretty much the budget. Right?
Thanks.
And so for the next meeting, just bring the books back and we'll insert them.
Okay.
Our Greek course here of budgets.
So do I have to? No, we're just gonna roll right into it. Okay. Okay, so we have more presentations than elementary school.
I think that,
We're.
I don't know, maybe we get a middle school, elementary fight for now.
My money's on Karen.
Thank you, Pat. Good evening, everyone. We are going to show a brief video. Miss Saniola and Miss Frickson's second grade class had prepared for the last board meeting to talk to you all about our FLES program. 5 years ago, when we implemented dual language, we also implemented a foreign language in an elementary school program in Spanish. So all of our students are receiving, Spanish instruction, and we thought it would be a nice idea to share with you some of their feedback and experiences. So please enjoy the video.
Hi, my name is Michelle Ferreira. I'm one of the first teachers here at the Marshall. This is my 5th year in the district, teaching Spanish to grades pre-K through 2nd. A few of my students in Miss Daniel and Mrs. Frickson's second grade class would like to share with you a little bit about their favorite parts of Spanish class over the years. Thank you for listening and please enjoy. Hi, my name is Jacob. My favorite thing about Spanish class is learning about My name is Julian C. My favorite thing about Spanish class is learning about travel. I like playing bingo and new Spanish words. Hi, my name is Carla. My favorite thing about Spanish class is learning about Hi, my name is Stephen. My favorite thing about Spanish class is learning so that we can send those and about the it's so much fun. Hi, my name
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Oh, they
Charlie.
Did he just leave? Is he that upset about it? We made him go first.
With a smile on his face.
You want to show your video?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. As you know, Mr. Fletcher has joined our automotive program. And luckily he has a history in film and art. And so he came to me and asked if he could put together a film, kind of documenting the daily ins and outs in the automotive program. And this is what he put together. It's very cool.
Amazing.
That was so great.
And we're gonna post that on the website.
Yeah, I mean, that's terrific. That's exactly what we envisioned. And they look like they're really enjoying it.
They're
They
loving
really-
it. It's really outstanding. And I think
Yeah.
the coolest part is to see a student who maybe didn't always excel in the classroom, excel in this environment
Right.
and really become a leader in that environment, which we're seeing happen. So,
That's great.
and they're loving it. So now we're ready for gearing up for year 2 next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the fact that we're able to offer this here and they don't have to spend time on a bus or where, it's just so much more hands-on time that they get in the classroom.
Absolutely. And one student did in fact say they did it. They've always loved cars and automotive, but they didn't want to go to the BOCES program and travel. So they did it because we have it here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's great.
And then next year we'll move these kids will move into automotive
Year
2.
two,
And
yeah.
then we'll put in a new group
Year
for
one.
automotive 1.
Mhm. Yep, very exciting, exactly.
And we can have up to 15?
15 for each section.
Okay.
Technically, though.
Yeah.
Look at that segue.
Right, so we're gonna give them a little bit of time to get their bearings, but we thought it would be interesting for you to hear from an unusual saxophone trio in our instrumental music program. We have, I'm not sure that all of you know that it's a requirement for all sixth graders to take music. So they choose from chorus, instrumental music, or rather orchestra or instrumental music. And we have 3 fabulous music teachers. We actually have even numbers in all the groups. For a few years, we experienced the dip in enrollment, specifically in the orchestra, where we were down to 8, 9, and 10 kids, and now we're back up to 34 kids in the grade. So they're evenly balanced in 6th grade. But then I just want to read you the numbers because Adam talked about staffing before and how important staffing is. We have 3 full-time music teachers. Of our 7th and 8th graders, there are 195 kids. 120 of them take music. And that's really incredible. And that's elective. It's not a requirement. In 7th and 8th grade, they choose. So this is the product of that program. And these gentlemen, along with Mr. Granger, who's going to tell you a little bit about what they're going to do, will entertain you briefly.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to take a moment to introduce the students really quick. Right here is Caleb McHugh. Right here is Colin Grisham, tenor saxophone. Right here, the Carson Diamond on also an alto saxophone. And today we're going to perform a little bit of Can't Help Falling in Love with You. I believe it was originally by Elvis Presley, but today it's certainly not.
Wonderful.
We'll head out that way. Good job. No, I'm done.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you. Make sure you get advantage. I had, but I don't think I can. We can look and say I have any.
You have any other news?
I do, but I can be quick. I promise. Just really quickly, last week we were able to have Holocaust survivor Judy Sleed come in and speak with our 9th and 10th grade, along with Christiane Arpasu, who made the documentary, and our 9th and 10th grade students viewed the documentary in social studies, and then teachers worked with them directly to develop really thoughtful and appropriate questions. Our time with Judy and Christiane was just a Q&A with her where she could elaborate on her story. She spoke about losing her parents, losing her brother. She also spoke about coming to New York City at the age of 14 and only knowing Hungarian and not speaking a lick of English. And given the audience, that was pretty moving for them. And it was particularly interesting because our audience of 9th and 10th grade, were only a year out from when she was 12 and lost her parents and went through that whole experience. So they could certainly relate on that level. Our students were outstanding. You could hear a pin drop in the room and just ask appropriate and insightful questions. And I was really proud of them. Reflecting on it after, given their age, given the age of many survivors, it may be the only time in their life where they have that opportunity. So I'm very glad we could provide it for them. So thank you so much for sending it our way and pointing it out. On a lighter note, we had 10 students from our science research program go to LICEF this last week, and the Long Island Science and Engineering Fair. All students did an outstanding job. We had 4 who moved to the next round. Meredith Brown, Dylan Cashin, Leah Fromm, and Cameron Mitchell will all compete on March 5th. So hats off to Dr. Rubito, Dr. Forsberg, and our science research students who continue to put phonics science on the map. And we'll keep you posted, of course, on how they do on the 5th. We have junior mock interviews coming up on the 13th. And then I included you on a Parent Square today that the musical, I don't think I'll see you again before the musical. So please know it's March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And you're all invited and all welcome. Needless to say, they're working very hard on a great production. So, thank you.
Kathy?
Thank you very much. It's been a very busy couple of days for Phonic Athletics. This weekend was a busy weekend. On Saturday, our wrestlers competed at the at our league championships, where we had 5 athletes move on to this weekend's Suffolk County Championship.
Oh, wow.
It's the first time East Hampton's had 5 athletes move on to a Suffolk County Championship in probably 20 years. So it's awesome.
That's
It's a tribute to Ethan and his program and the coaching staffs, and the kids have really bought it. Boys winter track also competed in the Suffolk County Championship. We had members of the 4x800 meter relay participate. Girls winter track on Sunday was an all-day event. We had kids compete in the shot put, the 3,000 meter, the 6,000 meter, the 4x800 relay, and the 4x200 relay. This week, our boys and girls basketball teams will have their senior nights this Thursday and Friday nights. If you're not busy, it's 4:30, both games. Bowling will compete tomorrow in the wild card match at Selden to see if they're eligible to move on from there. And swimming will compete this Saturday at the state qualifier meet at Stony Brook. So as you can see, it's a busy week for Phonic Athletics.
Great.
wonderful.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Superintendent's report and recommendations. So first off, it's tenure. Recommended that the board grant Jenna Piero tenure in the tenure area of school counseling and guidance. Certification area, school counseling and guidance, effective January 25th, 2024. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Do you want to say something?
So Jen is here, so, and our department.
All in favor?
Aye.
You guys can go home now, except for Simone.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so letters of retirement. Recommended that the board accept letters of resignation for the purposes of retirement. Be it hereby resolved that the Board of Education accept the letters of resignation for the purpose of retirement from the following employees: Carol Logie, should I read the names?
Yeah,
Carmela Intermaggio, Anne Fink, Laura Hudson, Victoria Von Frank, and Lisa McKee. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second? I'll second.
a lot, I'll just say one thing about all of the ones coming, and I said it before, it's a lot, there's an incentive and I understand that, but for all of these people and my talk to, around from the administrators, from business official, from the technical, this is a very difficult decision, and these people have gained the amount of years and in their retirement letters, when you read them, that they put into this community is unbelievable. So they're all going to be missed, but they're big losses.
All in favor?
Aye.
On school calendar, resolve that the board approve the first and final reading of the attached East Hampton Union Free School District 2024 to 2025 school calendar. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? Anything that we really need to know?
So we will start again. We will keep starting. So we will start again the day after Labor Day. I like what we're doing there. It's patterned. We're bringing in staff before Labor Day. It seems to work. We're not changing things up. Everybody will be very happy. All the instructional staff have their 2 weeks off for Christmas this year. So yes, it went all the way through. But with that, you will also have a very long time during March when they're in school. We built in 2 snow days, 3 conference days. Again, it's really aligned with the BOCES calendar. All the East End districts went with the 2 weeks in the middle of the year. So pretty standard stuff.
So once we adopt this, it'll be on the website already? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Contract agreements. Resolve that the board approve the following contract agreement for the 2023 to 24 school year. Number 1, the contract between East Hampton Union Free School District and the Arc Artists LLC and Hunter Tones LLC for the purpose of providing musical workshops and a performance working with the high school students music program in the amount of $5,000 in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth in said contract, and authorizes the president of the Board of Education to sign said contract. Number 2, the emergency evacuation agreement between East Hampton Union Free School District and Regal Cinemas, Inc. for the 2023 to 24 school year in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth in said agreement, and authorizes the president of the Board of Education to sign said agreement. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
This is all just standard stuff.
Do we usually have that with Regal?
That's the agreement we have for active shooter evacuation. So yes, that took a while to get this.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recommended that the board approve the revised memorandum of agreement between East Hampton Union Free School District and the East Hampton Union Free School District Related Professionals Association regarding a one-time retirement incentive for the 2023 to 24 school year. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
The next three are the actual incentives because it changes contractual
For
terms.
each.
Yeah, for each of our
Okay.
units.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolve that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby approves a memorandum of agreement with the East Hampton Teachers Association dated February 6, 2024, concerning a one-time retirement incentive for the 23 to 24 school year. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education hereby authorizes the President of the Board of Education to execute said memorandum of agreement on behalf of the Board of Education. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the last one, resolve that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby approves a memorandum of agreement with the East Hampton Administrators Association dated February 6, 24, concerning a one-time retirement incentive for the 23-24 school year, and be it further resolved that the Board of Education hereby authorizes the President of the Board of Education to execute said memorandum of agreement. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Recommended that the board authorize administration to file the property tax cap calculations to the Office of the New York State Controller for the 2024 to 25 school year, staying within current property tax cap limitations. I'm not going to read all of these long list of numbers. Can I have a motion?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Recommended that the district approve the awarded proposal for the third-party administrator for the district self-insurance, workers' compensation and program and excess workers' compensation and employers' liability insurance for the 2024 to 2025 school year. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Sam?
So the board will agree that last June, the board authorized us to withdraw from the East End Workers' Comp Consortium. So we need a third-party administrator to run the program for us. We have recommended through an RFP process that the district contract with Right Risk. This is the same parent company that operates NYSER, our insurance consortium. They have a very impressive background. I've worked with them in the past for workers' comp and other places, and I think they can do a great job.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recommended that the board, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, hereby designates the following measurement periods, administration periods, and corresponding stability periods. This is, I'm not going to read this entire thing, but this is regarding the Affordable Care Act compliance.
Motion first.
Do you want to?
Do you want to give a motion?
Yes. Can I have a motion?
I'll make one.
Second.
First, I'm very disappointed you didn't read the whole thing. But this is as I mentioned in the budget presentation, we changed our Affordable Care Act compliance provider, and they just recommend that we ask the board to pass this resolution so we can reset the clock and make sure everybody's on the same page.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recommended that the board approve budgetary line increases for the 2023 to 24 school year. Resolved that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby authorizes budgetary increases as follows. Number one, the budgetary increase. Do you want me to read this whole thing?
Well, one's from unemployment reserve and the other's from EBLAR.
All right. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Do you want to explain?
Sure. So the first one, we have some unemployment claims that we have to pay. There's insufficient money in the budget to pay them, so that's why we have a reserve. The second is we have people retiring. We are contractually obligated to pay them for certain used days. I'm giving you a heads up that as we head into June with other people retiring, we may get more letters in the coming week and a half that we're going to see this resolution again.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Recommended that the board approve budget transfers for the 2023 to 24 school year. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's recommended that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District accepts with gratitude the following donations for the 23-24 school year. Resolve that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District accepts with gratitude the following donations for the 23-24 school year. Number one, the donation of a safe station tower with AED cabinet from the Lewis Acampora Foundation in memory of Mr. Douglas McLaughlin. Number two, a donation from Global Partners LP in the amount of $500 to be used for the purchase of materials for research conducted by the students of the East Hampton High School Science Research Program. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education in the East Hampton Union Free School District hereby authorizes a budgetary increase to the budget line in the amount of $500. Number three, the donation of 11 Wacom 1 13-inch pen displays from OnCallWallpaper.com to be used in the high school's graphic design and advertising design classes. Number four, a donation from the East Hampton Town Trustees in the amount of $2,000 to be used for the purchase of shark tags for research conducted by the students of East Hampton High School Science Research Program. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second? This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stephanie spoke about the short text.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're in old business. Anyone have any old business? New business?
Yeah, so we received our letter from the state comptroller regarding our fiscal stress monitoring. And we're in good standing, but Sam, what does that evaluate us on?
There's two different measurements that they have. They have fiscal stress monitoring and environmental stress monitoring in terms of how we are financially. They have no findings with either, which is exactly where you want to be. The matrix look at when you have cash on hand, what your budgetary appropriations are, where, what your borrowing is, and they assign a score based on all those types of fiscal numbers. They look at where your enrollment is and how secure you are from year to year in the budget. We do quite well.
Great. Do we have any public comments? LTV, is there anyone on the line?
We have no callers at this time.
Okay, thank you. Motion to adjourn. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. It was a long and busy night.
GPUs, you.
I know.